All right, so right now we're just gonna go through a back testing session on the lower time frames, and we're gonna just click through 10 trades, uh, and then also kind of depending on where I'm at right now, more than likely probably do like 20 just to get the reps up and shit. So right now, originally I was thinking buys for this retest, but on the 15 minute we are still in this consolidation. On the 5 minutes a little bit clearer, but on the 15 minute it's dirty. So we're gonna wait until price actually forms a higher low. So therefore we can be able to get a really good trade and actually get some, get some good wins here. Um, we got a higher low first, so now we're just looking for price to break that higher low, and we're waiting for price to break also this higher high right here. So we got a lower high, then we have a equal low. So we gotta wait for price to kind of get its way out. Um, the higher time frame from what we already just saw is going to always be prevalent. So before you enter a trade, always have the always look at the higher time frame first. Like always look at the higher time frame first, because if you don't look at the higher time frame first, then you're pretty much kind of walking smack dab in the middle of whatever the fuck price wants to do, um, and you're unaware. You know what I'm saying? So always check the higher time frame before you take a trade, um, and just be more disciplined to that rule. So we see a lower high being formed, then a lower low, then a lower high again. So now price has to do two things. Um, and right now we're seeing, these sales here. So, yeah. We see a correction. All right, cool. All right, boom. So now we went from that. So now we have here, here, then here, then here, then here, and now boom, boom. So now we are going to be looking for another higher high and then a higher low. And the price pushes back into this, then we know exactly where it needs to go. So, all right, we got an equal low, and now we have that higher high like we need it. All right, cool. So now the a next time that price forms a higher low, we can get in for buys. Now the correction is over. So, all right, cool, perfect. So now we can scroll down. Hold on, let me get about this shit real quick. There we go. All right, cool. I need to get to 5 minute. And I think I actually know even how to do that, right? Like I think, yeah, I can change that. All right, good. So, all right, so cool. Now we got this higher low forming. So now we can go in for sales right here. Have our stop loss behind this last higher low right here. Or this last, higher low right here. And then since price is making that momentum shift, we're going to get it on a 1 to 2. And our entry is going to be right here. Yeah, our entry is going to be right here. And now we're going to check the 15 minute just again before we press play. All right, perfect. We have that higher low established right here. Check the hour just to make sure that we're in confluence. Yep. All right, cool. So now we can let this trade play out, and let's see what happens. So I already kind of saw that happening. This is why I put it behind that. So we're still in the trade for sure. And prices recovering from that higher low being established. Now it's forming the equal low. All right, cool. Now we're back in profit. Yep. All right, there we go. All right. Cool. All right, time for a win. All right, cool. That higher low got established right there. Again, almost another push down, but again, we stepped out of it. And instead, we're about to get a 1 and 2 trade. Oh, almost. We got probably another higher low established right there. Boom. All right. Perfect. 1 and 0. Good trade. So this is just following the formula again. So before you enter in a trade, make sure that one, your time frames are correlated. So, you know, you can do your markup on the 1 hour, and then after that, scale down to the 15. Make sure that it's matching, and then again, wait for higher low to be established. Right, that was that first higher low on the 15. Then it came here, and that was the official first higher low there. And after that, the second higher low was there. So we got in early, but we could have had a shorter stop loss. We could have had a shorter one had we well, actually, no, I actually like our entry. I ain't gonna lie, I like my entry, just due to the fact it's like price was right here, and in order for us to get in, that would have been here, and then the stop loss would have been like right here. So it would have been like hella tight, and we would have lost because it would have went back. So actually, this was a really good entry, and this is the appropriate entry that was necessary for the trade. And then of course, price went back to where point B was. So you know, that's a really good start. All right. Also, a new thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hold on. Let me turn on this fan because I'm pretty sure it's a lot of shit right now. I apologize if the fan was really loud. So, but one thing that I'm going to start doing. This is a live back testing, by the way. This is something that I have been wanting to do. Just for like my own sake, as far as like just film. And then this is also something that I wanted to do as well, just for the channel itself. I know I've been behind on uploading videos daily. That's not necessarily something that I've committed to doing, but I know that I was on a streak and I was able to get multiple videos out. So definitely after this, I will make it a point to upload all those videos, and then at that point, y'all can be able to watch them. But yeah, so we're gonna go through 10 of these. So this is gonna be a long back testing session. Y'all gonna see me basically go through 10 back test setups, and then I'm gonna upload that, and then we're probably gonna do another pair. So but yeah, anyway, so what I'm also gonna start doing is I'm just gonna kind of leave it where it is, right? I like the entry overall of what I did, but I forgot where I was gonna go with that. I genuinely do. So, but yeah, I'm marking point A. I got point B marked up. I have point C marked up here. Let me go ahead and knock that out real quick. Yeah, point C. I'm over here typing this shit. I don't even need to. Crazy. Point A. But yeah, honestly, I really like the entry overall. I mean, again, we survived 2 sweeps of liquidity, right? Because this was the first liquidity sweep right here. And then we even have, I thought that we did. But we avoided the first liquidity sweep right here, right? And then we avoided the second liquidity sweep right here. And then we got to our TP, right? Oh yeah, time and duration. That's where I was going. Perfect. I'm so glad I remembered it. All right, so now we got in at this trade at about, let's go back to the 15-minute where it was at. So we got in this trade officially at it was 9:15 on Monday. So 9:15 on Monday. So I think that was in the morning time. And then we were out by Wednesday. So this was actually a swing. This is actually a swing trade that I took. So yeah, there's that. All right. So this was we were in by 9:15. We were out about. So this was about a 2.5 day trade. So this was a 2 day trade basically. 2 day trade. To keep it very simple. So I'm gonna do 2 day hold. Yeah, I'm gonna do 2 day hold. Alright, cool. So this was a 2 day hold. Alright. So we got that out the way. Like I said, overall I really like my entry. I like what I did. Again, like I said, we survived this large ass liquidity sweep right here. That's why it's always good to have like your zones as stop losses, supports and resistances as your stop loss. Because if you have the previous lower high, just like a random lower high marked up, then, you know, I'm just being honest, you kind of risking getting your trade popped. You really are. That's something that I've learned from experience within like the time that I've learned how to trade and like kind of, you know, gotten used to losing. Typically my stop losses would be not in a dedicated zone where price is based off of structure. Because I say if price didn't get to here, say if price like did this and then fell through, then I know it broke structure. So then I know we have a longer continuation than expected. Or like say if price, you know, say if it's doing this right and then it crashes all the way through and it goes past this 78 all the way to 100, right? Then I know we more than likely have a whole different trend, right? Opposed to just a correction. So it's just good to always have like a stop loss marked at a zone rather than having it just in some random spot, right? Just for the sake of like trying to get the most money. No, like have a legitimate stop loss, because yo, this right here, imagine your trades right here, you got a winning trade, right? And then, or imagine you get in right here, you got a winning trade, and then boom, that shit gets popped like that. That'll piss a nigga off. I ain't gonna lie. I know it would. But yeah, so this is kind of a long trade, but anyway. All right, we got the first one down. Second one, let's go. All right, currently I'm 1-0 on my ticker. So now let's go on to being 2-0. All right, so now that this is complete, we have the correction, and this has been going up. So now we're gonna wait again. The correction started right at this level, and it's ending here so far. So now we're gonna see where price decides it wants to go. All right, cool. Price touched that area. All right. I'm gonna adjust this. Cool. All right. So now we have, I think, a whole new thing. We have a whole new thing. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm fine placing my fib at this level right here, at this area. Well, not that level, but at this candle. I'm fine putting it there. Let me move this out the way. Let's put a text box. That's where. There we go. Yeah, I'm put a text box. All right, cool. So right now I'm 1-0. Let's go ahead and shade that in. All right. All right, cool. Let's go to the 15-minute. All right, so we got our first touch, which is going to be at this level here. So kind of just repeating the same shit. Oop, nope, wrong thing. All right, so right now we can still identify with trend that this is clearly a uptrend. All right, this is a resistance for that level, but now it's support. Another area could be right here, but I don't think that's legitimate. The price will have to come touch this area again. So let's just do an actual like dotted line for this area right here just to see what it does. All right, cool. We got the 15-minute. All right, what I'm thinking right now is like, again, we have this break, and now we have this slight retest. Now, price can either make this retest here and then go up, right, in a sequence, or it can make a lower high and then push down some more and then again go up like it did kind of last time. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna just kind of fast forward a little bit. All right, cool. Price has broke that support. All right, it continues to break that support. So now we have a lower high here. And now price has broken this lower high. So now we're looking for a higher low. Because this was the higher low right here. Well, excuse me. This was the lower high, lower low. So now we're looking for, we have an equal high based at this level right here. Well, actually, price is higher than this. So we have a higher high here. Right, we have a high. Now we have a higher high, but I'm gonna label that as high, so therefore I can get my higher low, and then boom, boom. All right, so price is either gonna touch this support area again to tap back into it, or it's going to go back to where the buyers were, because the buyers were originally here. Yeah, the buyers are originally in this area right here. So we're gonna find out what price decides to do. Just gonna see if it's either gonna tap back into this buyer's level or if it's gonna come here to go get some more momentum. We're just looking for a bullish candle. Boom. All right, so now we have a higher low established right here. So now we have high, low, lower high, lower low. Now a high, higher low, and now we're looking for a higher high. So now it's time to go down to the 5-minute. Let's see what happens. All right, so price has bounced off this area once, twice, broke through, bounced back here, came here, gave us a higher low. Now price is in a strong area for buyers to test the support again. If I'm gonna get in a trade right now, the first things first is that I'm gonna look for a buy here, and I'm gonna put my stop loss behind this level here, and then my target is going to be at that 0. So it'll give me like a 1 to 2, almost, or give me like a 1 to 1. If it's at that 23%, I'm gonna try to go for, I would say maybe that. I'm gonna try to go for that. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna see what the market is offering. Let's go to the 1 hour. Okay, cool. We do have a higher low. We do have a higher high. And then we have this sequence up here. One more thing. I just want to look at the 1 hour. All right. Now, all that shit sounded fine and dandy, but now look at where I'm at. Here on the 1 hour, this is just a higher low, and price is still in consolidation. So a candle could come down and then pop me out of this. So I'm not going to take this trade. And instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to let an hour cycle by, and I'm going to let price break this area first. Whether if it goes down or up, it doesn't matter. But I need price to get out of traffic. You never want to play in traffic. So cool, price broke it. Bet. Alright. Now I need price to break it again. Boom. This is why looking at the higher time frames is so important. Because imagine if I would have gotten a trade, I would have been getting my ass killed right here. So this is why looking at the higher time frame is so important before you take a trade. It doesn't matter what time frame you're on. Looking at the higher time frame is more important than you trying to get some bread. Because you're going to fuck around and end up getting killed. So yeah. Alright, so price is still kind of deciding what it's going to do. This is helpful right here because price now has created a higher low. So now on the higher time frames, now we have a higher low. So where are you? Well, you are right here. I'm tripping. No, I'm not. Alright, bet. What the fuck? Cool. Higher low. Check. Alright. Cool. So we have price came back, bought from this level. Move this out the way here. Move that out the way there. So now I can see it clearly. You can see it clearly. Now we have that equal high here. Cool. So price has to now do the following, because there are orders that are still sitting at this level. Sellers are right here. Sellers are right here in this area. And they're definitely in this area right here. So anytime price has been here, right? Anytime price came towards this level, this area right here. Hold on, let me, so I can get my horizontal arrow. There we go. Anytime prices come right here, this little threshold, you can't, Dikembe Mutombo, give me that shit. Push back down. So we're going to see if price is either going to break, right? Or price is going to come back down again. So, because sellers are trapped up, sellers are trapped up here, so buyers can push through from this area. Yeah. This is the seller's area right here. All right, this belongs to the sellers. Let me mark that as red. I don't feel like talking to sellers. I ain't gonna hold you. But sellers are right here. And I actually think that this would be, I think this actually would work for me in this situation right now. So yeah, sellers are here. Right? Oh, excuse me. Sellers are right here. Buyers at this level, same thing here. Alright, so now we know that bulls are here, bears right here. Alright, so now we're going to see what price decides to do. How's it going to react to that level of resistance, right? Let's see if a higher low gets established. Because if a higher low gets established, then we're in good sights. Right now, price is pushing it right back down. Sellers are pushing it back down. Boom. All right. So now it has to go test it again. So now we know, all right, this is too weak. Cool. It's giving another bounce. And by the way, just so we can zoom out, this is what a trading range is. This is what happens when price is stuck in a range or it's consolidation. There's no higher highs being made and there's no lower lows really being made. So this is, again, why you want to stay out of traffic. You could trade this if you wanted to, but you have to do like 1 minute to 5 minute scalps. Like, shit would be crazy how fast you have to get in and out of the market, which is kind of dumb. Ain't no point in doing that. If anything, this would be just more of like a day thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just don't get your trade done that day. It'll probably be later on. You know what I'm saying? Cool. This buyer's area, So price is gonna try to jump it again, right? It's gonna try to jump again. All right, it got enough. It tapped here once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Cool, it got enough to get through. So now it has to get through the final boss. Cool. All right. So now let's go to the 1 hour. Again, still within that trading range. So it can be a risk, right? We have this right here. Let's go to the 5 minute, because I may be thinking that the storm is over. I'm thinking that the storm is finally over. Because it broke this and it's touched this area. So if we are going to get in a trade, then you already know where my stop loss is going to be. 1, and then 2, it also stayed within this area as well. So yeah, we're gonna see what's popping with this. All right, let's go 15 minute. How's 15 minute looking? All right. Let's zoom down. Where's price at right now? All right, let's see how we're looking right now for a buy. So cool, price, of course, right here, and then right there. So it's a 1 to. It's basically almost a 1 to 2 if I were to take this trade. I don't like this, so I'm gonna let it go. So let's skip. Let's get out of this, and let's get to a better position. All right, cool. So nothing was missed out of this, and there's a good reason why. It's like I don't like it because again, I would have just that would have been a 1 to 2, and then cool would have got a 1 to 3, etc. So forth. I'm not mad. I ain't gonna lie. Like, it's like whatever. I'm not tripping. It broke out of this, right, and it gave us a new indication because price was consolidating for a while. So now we have to look forward to a new one. All right. So let's now erase all of that. All right. Cool. So first we had an indication, then we had a correction, and went into a consolidation, gave us a higher low, then gave us a higher high, then gave us a higher low, and then broke out. So that's on the 1 hour, but again, that could have easily went down here. So just don't get into this. It's fine. 1 and 0, still preserved. And then I got a brand new indication to actually operate off of. And price is actually shooting to the star, which is actually really good. Because that means there's going to be a nice little correction that'll come back. Cool. Alright, correction has begun. So now our indication. There it is. Point A, point B. And we're already at 23. Alright, so let's see what price does. Let's see. Alright, we got a higher low established. Cool. Lower high. Alright. Now we have our low. So now we have our first lower high. Now we have our low. Because that was our higher low. Lower high. Lower low. Cool. Alright, price has to go past that high. It's almost there. Alright, it's went past it. Now it has to create a higher low. Alright, higher low is starting to be formed. 15 minute. Cool. Alright. Higher low got established. Boom. Now let's go down to the 5. All right. So now I can be able to look at that. Place this here. That's cool. I'll take that. But no, we're just gonna make that back to the gray. That's cool though. All right. And I feel like this is gonna be a pretty long video. I ain't gonna lie, but I feel like no one minds that really. I ain't gonna lie. I don't feel like anybody minds that. All right, price went back quite a bit. Went to 50%. So I'm okay with putting it at about putting it about this level, especially because of its most recent behavior. All right, cool. So now I have price at the support because it's touched here, and it's touched here. Crashes through here and bounce back up, so that's fine. And if it crashes through here anyway, then that's how we know we actually have something going on. And it'll just form a lower high and it'll go all the way through. So then we know that the correction is done. And that was just it. Price is here. So depending on what it does as far as its resistance, which will give me about less than a 1-to-1. Yeah, at about a 1-to-1. So we're going to see what price does at this area right here. If price is stalling and it's not giving me anything I want, then I will close it. But if it gives me what I like, then we'll continue. All right, so we are on the 1 minute. Before I press start, let's check and make sure that we're good with the 5 and the 15. Cool, we have a higher low on the ascent. On the 1 hour, how are we looking? We have an equal high, and then we have a higher low again being established. So right now, things are looking pretty good. Yeah, we're looking pretty good. Price does have to come take this higher low out, so we'll see what happens. It more than likely may wick out, and then it may come back down. I don't know. Or it may just kill me in the first fucking candle. We'll fucking see, right? All right, cool. I'm in profit. All right. Cool. All right. Now I'm definitely in profit. Set that higher low in for real. And just like that, we are out of the trade. And what did I say? Didn't I call it? Price does have to take this out. So, low key, hold on. Because I did simulate this shit on the 1 hour. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. I'll take the loss. I'll definitely take the loss. But this is what I'm talking about right here. This is actually this is a pretty important moment right here. All right, so this right here is what I'm talking about. So when price has sellers, or when price has buyers right here trapped, right? Because buyers are basically trying to go up. This selling level kept pushing price back down. So with me getting into my trade, truthfully, my actual trade should had been this right here. It should have just been here, and I've been out, right? And I would have got my TP. So that's low key my fault. As far as not being super aware, so I will take the loss on that. But I did also call it too as well. So it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, yeah, I'll give myself that loss. But again, this is what I'm talking about right here. So price is at this level. It's stuck up here basically, right? And these orders still haven't been taken care of. So boom, because there's basically sell orders or buy orders to go up. So price is still active. Like the buy limit orders are not activated, right? So price has to come here to activate these orders, right? And then you still got buyers that are right here that are trying to push up too as well. And then you also do have sellers that are down here. So it's just basically orders. That's the best way to understand it. Orders are stuck up here. Orders are stuck down here. And these are limits. These are limit orders. Price has to activate them so it comes and takes care of the money. And that's where the money is sitting, right? So this is liquidity at its finest, right? So cool. Price forms these two candles, which is what? The equals, right? Forms these candles and then it pushes all the way down. And it wipes everybody's shit out. Then, right, It's not the end of the world, right? It's not the end of the world. Because on the higher time frame, by the way, where's my thing? Let me zoom out. I'm gonna actually do this in like part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, like, cause I already know, like, nigga, this gonna be a long ass video on me. All right, cool. All right. So yeah, but anyway, we see price is at the support level here. It crashed through. It's here. So now price is either about to use this level again, this 50% level, to bounce up and push past price again, kind of like how it was, right? This same type of range, or it's about to push even lower and then go up because it's still in the uptrend. So all we're gonna do is just be patient, right? But price did that was actually very funny. Price did exactly what I knew it was going to do, or what I thought it would be able to do. Price did exactly what I thought. I'm like, it could do that for sure, and it did. Long ass wick and then crash. All right, let's see what price now does. Now that it's gotten back to this 50% level. Hey, what's up, brother? I'm recording a video right now. Let me call you back. All right. Yeah, what's up?